it is time we move forward and talk about ethical hacking, right? So when I talk to you about ethical hacking, what exactly do you understand about ethical hacking, right? For us, or for most of us, whether we are students or working professionals, it's very sad to say, but ethical hackers are deemed as something like a thief. That when you say that you are a hacker, people think that okay, he's an hacker. That means maybe he's stealing information. So somebody who steals is a thief. That is why I did mention that he's a thief. So this was something maybe 5 years ago. This was something the norms. Even today, if you talk the same thing, like you are an ethical hacker to somebody who is older, they would assume that you are a thief or something. But ethical hacker is a much more professional and widely used term. I would mention that ethical hacker is nothing but he's a computer expert who has computer knowledge on different domains. He's a computer expert. When I say an expert, he has knowledge about different things, right? So when I say that he has different knowledge about different things, what these things would be? It would be knowledge about networking. It would be knowledge about programming. It would have knowledge about maybe servers, client systems, various processes the computer works on, and other stuff, right? So, uh, having all this knowledge, see, generally, if you talk about a, a programmer, so they have knowledge on one or two programming languages, or there are some computer administrators who understand about Windows administrators. There are some who understand about Linux. There are some who understand about Mac OS. Again, so people are not having the knowledge cross domain. So ethical hacker is somebody who has knowledge about all of the different architectures of computer. He has knowledge about the you know different programming languages. He's able to understand them, read them, and manipulate them in such a way that he can get a task done for himself without requiring any access, that is authentication or authorization. Again, this is really really important. You need to understand the difference. There is no authentication and there is no authorization. So that is the reason why we say that ethical hacker is a computer expert. So not everybody can be an ethical hacker. So when I talk about ethical hacker, to become one, like I did mention, that you would need programming language, you would need networking language, you would need knowledge about computer architectures, that is your hardware, different stuff. So how is it possible for a same man to understand everything, right? So if I talk about programming languages, if you compare, so one programming language is always related to others. How is it related? Because the programming uh, concept is going to be the same. So if somebody is from computer science background, and I do mention to them that using a pointer or using an array in any programming languages, an array is an array, that is a set of elements. Array is nothing but a set of elements. So an array is an array. Now how you define it, how you tell it is different, right? So what I mean to say here is, even though if I talk about my country India, there are different languages that have been spoken, that are your programming languages, and I say that if I tell that I want to eat a banana, in Hindi I would say mujhe kela khana hai, that is in Hindi. This is how you would say in Hindi. But if it is in any other language, again, the banana is going to be the same, the meaning is going to be the same. So the concept is overall same. Okay, this was a very bad example, I would say, but still, the overall concept is going to be the same. That means, whatever task you want to do, the architecture behind it, so the fruit is going to be the same. The fruit is always going to be the banana, right? And the task is always going to be that you want to eat the banana. How you say is it different? So you can always take a look at the documentation, but to understand the basic task and the basic target, that is a banana or whatever it is important. So if the concepts in any one or two languages, then it is always always easy that you will be able to read, write, and understand multiple languages. I myself have knowledge about, okay, I would not say how many languages, but a lot of languages, right? So anybody who is going through this course will be learning, will be seeing different code. We'll see something in PHP, we'll see in Python, we'll see in JavaScript. Now again, you might get this question, sir, I am an expert of Python, but I don't know how JavaScript looks like. But it's okay. If you are able to understand what we are trying to achieve with that lines of code, there is no necessity that you would use JavaScript. You can do the same thing using Python as well, right? So this is how it would work. So there is this wonderful course by EC Council where they talk about ethical hacking, and that is called as a certified ethical hacker. Now, whatever I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk only about a few sites from here. So these are specific to them, to the particular course. It costs about 30,000 Indian rupees to get access to this course and to the course material. But I'll be walking through some of the basics using their slides. And I think it is okay because we are just trying to understand something theoretically, right? And whether it is from EC Council or from any other place, it is going to be the same thing, right? So EC Council is one of the world's renowned certification for ethical hackers. What they talk about is basics of cybersecurity, and once you understand them, you get the certification of CEH, right? I am pretty sure that many of you guys after the end of this course are going to take this particular certification because that would be helpful for you. Okay, or let me give you an introduction to ethical hacking. So there are a lot of things that you would need to know as an ethical hacker, and what would be them. So there are some basic elements of information security that you need to understand. Okay, this whatever information I'm sharing you, again, this is not specific to CEH course, but this is specific to anybody who wants to become an ethical hacker. Now these terms, whatever you see in front of your screen, are really really important. They are important because these would be widely and used on a daily basis. So if you are somebody into cybersecurity, then I would talk about non-repudiation and you would know what I'm talking about. Something like that, right? So in ethical hacking, these terms are really, really important. So let me go over them in brief to make you understand what they are. So first term is confidentiality. So confidential means something that is secret, and confidentiality means that the information is only accessible to them, those who are authorized to have the access. What do you mean by authorized? Authorized in the sense those who have been given the permission to have the access, right? That is nothing but your confidential. And then there is something called as integrity. So integrity means, now let's say the server, you went to a website to download a software. Now while you were downloading, somebody who is an unethical person modified some of the files, or made some kind of a disturbance in your download, so that apart from the file which you wanted to download, there are certain unwanted files that have been downloaded. That means whatever was sent was not received. There was either something extra received or something less received. So now you don't know whether whatever information received is trustworthy, right? So integrity is nothing but, integrity is a term that would ensure that whatever was sent is the same thing that is received. That means it is nothing but your trustworthiness of the data resources, that it has not been tampered with. Tampered in the sense it has not been modified. Okay, and availability. So why is this is important? Availability is important because let's say I'm trying to communicate to a web server. This is really really important, and some of the unethical persons are just not wanting our servers to be online. So what they did is they launched a different types of attack that would bring our server down. So now this is not available, but the availability was crucial, right? So that means whenever you require something, It is available to the authorized user. That is nothing but your availability. And then what is authenticity? Authenticity is nothing but it is just a characteristic. That means you are just giving kind of a certificate that whatever you are providing is genuine, right? And then the last one is non-repudiation. So what is non-repudiation? So it's nothing but it is a guarantee that the sender of message cannot later say that I did not send this. In simple terms, it is that. So you just cannot say that, okay, I did not get this file from that particular server. That is nothing but that would be covered under non-repudiation. So now why are these important? These are really important because you are going to cover these aspects whenever you talk about cybersecurity of a company or of an organization, of a software, of anything. Okay. So why? Why does this happen? Now let's say, why do you need to know about these elements and what should be the motive behind you learning a certified ethical hacker course, or why should you be learning this ethical hacking course today here, right? So there should be a reason. So the reason should be that you're trying to protect uh, your company from somebody who would want to launch an attack and demand you ransom for doing the same. A lot of times, if you talk about the negatives, now I'm working in a particular company. I know the company's secrets. Tomorrow the company has asked me to leave, or I have left the company for some reason, and I just want to destroy the company. So what I do, I delete all the important or confidential files or important files related to a project. So for damage purposes, this is done, right? So, or taking the revenge, this is done. A lot of times, if you talk about wars, so today's war, you might have heard about the recent war between India and Pakistan, or the recent war between Ukraine and Russia, right? So you did listen that as soon as there is a war that is launched out, the first thing what happens is the hackers from the different countries try to bring down military sites of the opposite country. The reason they do this is most of the data, most of the infrastructure technology is working via the internet on different softwares. Let's talk about the radar system. So let's talk about the different launchers. All of this is available. So if you bring those servers down, then you are actually bringing your enemy down, right? So something like that. So anything can be a motive. Why a cyber security vulnerability has been provided in front of you. Now, what exactly is vulnerability? So, throughout your career, this is something that you would be using on a day to day basis. What is vulnerability? Vulnerability is nothing but it is a weakness through which an enemy can take an advantage of you. If I'm talking about in simple terms, so vulnerability is nothing but this is the way how enemy would take advantage to you. Now, let's say in simple terms, not related to computer or not related to software.